Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video, I am just as excited as you are. I finally have my hands on the new iPhone. So I ended up getting the iPhone 14 Pro Max in the 256GB size, and I am incredibly excited to do a little bit of an unboxing and first impressions today with you guys, because I know some of you might be on the fence about whether or not you want to upgrade, but for me it was an absolute no-brainer. I have had the iPhone 11 Pro Max for the last 3 years, and even though it has served me well and I've been very grateful to have it, I literally was desperate for a new phone, not only for like battery life and camera upgrades, but just in general, being in this content space, I actually need to have a really good phone. And yeah, I was just super excited to upgrade to the new one. So I haven't opened this yet at all. I actually just got it 2 days ago. So I've been absolutely hanging to sit down and film this video. But unfortunately, as you can probably hear, I'm kind of sick at the moment. I ended up getting the flu and I was just really burnt out towards the end of last week. So I've actually been resting all weekend, and now it is the perfect time for me to open this up. It is a super rainy day outside, so let's just get straight into it and I can show you through the phone. So I thought I would just go through a couple of the features and why I thought it was the perfect time to upgrade. So as a little bit of an example, I obviously could have just upgraded to the 13. It would have been cheaper, and it's still a massive leap from the 11 Pro Max to the 13. However, when I found out Apple was coming out with the iPhone 14 Pro Max in September this year, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to wait. I'm not desperate to upgrade right now, and I thought there was going to be quite significant changes between the 13 and the 14, so it was definitely worth waiting for, in my opinion. And I have to say, I definitely did this with the laptops as well. So I've got a Macbook Pro, but mine is the one with all of the ports on it, and I know all of the previous models have had the ports removed, and that was so it looked more sleek or was lighter or whatever their reasoning was. Absolute deal breaker for me, because I'm someone who really needs to plug in things like my SD card or a mouse or just headphones for podcasting, whatever it is. I just thought there's absolutely no way that I would purchase a laptop if it didn't have ports, so I waited that out as well, and I was so glad that I did, because I absolutely love my MacBook, but I really do love the functional side of it as well. So with the phone, it is a 48 megapixel camera, and the current phone that I have is 12 megapixels. So literally 4 times better already just in terms of the camera. And another big selling point for me is the color. So I'll take the case off my current phone, but I have no idea why I ever picked this green color when it came out in the 11s, but I actually really don't like it. I feel like it's quite masculine, and I was really looking forward to upgrading so that I could get a beautiful white color. So that is what I ended up doing. I went for the silver, which is, I guess, the closest equivalent to the white. So the 4 colors that the new one comes in is deep purple, gold, silver, and space black. And I actually did just drop into the Apple store at yesterday to have a look, because I hadn't unboxed mine yet, but I was having a little bit of a freak out because I thought it was bigger for some reason, and this one is already big enough. So I was actually panicking that it was like much bigger, because I had seen some phone cases in JB Hi-Fi that looked really big, but rest assured it is like marginally bigger, which you would already know if you have a 13. So that was not much different at all. So it says it has a ceramic shield, which is tougher than any smartphone glass, water resistance, surgical grade stainless steel, and 6.1 or 6.7 inch display sizes. So obviously the Pro Max is the 6.7. One of the other nicest things about the new phone is the interface, and I think they've made some really beautiful upgrades and changes. It's just the way that like the clock displays, and there are actual widgets and things as well, because on my current phone I actually had a bunch of different apps from third parties installed so that I could have some widgets and play around with the covers of things to make it more aesthetic. And I have done all of this in a previous video, which I will link down below in case you are interested. But I do know that you can also just update the iOS on any other phone as well. So my workmate has a 13 and he had already updated it and got some of those changes pushed through. So you definitely don't need to run out and update your phone if that's all that you're after, because you can definitely do it on any of the other phones just by updating your system. So I do really think it is so beautiful though what they've done, and it makes for the lock screen to be a little bit more interactive and just really great. So it says when the iPhone is turned face down or in your pocket, it will also go dark to save battery life. And yet again, battery life is incredibly important to me because I do a lot on my phone, whether it be in my normal job as an architect or in my content creation job. And often I'm kind of juggling both throughout the day. So I do need a phone which is able to let me watch videos and things as well, because I know that is something that absolutely drains the battery. And also for every single one of you who have worked from home, you would know that Zoom calls also just drain the battery like no tomorrow. When I was in lockdown using my phone for the front camera for doing meetings and things, it was constantly going flat, and it was really the bane of my existence because I kind of had to constantly run to a charger in between meetings or keep it fully charged on my desk just so it was always going to stay alive. So the all-day battery life is a massive, massive selling point to me as well. It also says that they have a display that's up to 2 times brighter in the sun, which is absolutely brilliant because I'm someone who is very outdoorsy, and in summer, if I take my phone to the beach but still want to be able to use it, I really hate when it kind of is all just like blacked out and you just absolutely can't see anything because it just makes it totally useless. So you end up just having to chuck it in your bag and do something else, which obviously is not a problem, by the way. I do love reading books and things as well, but sometimes I just want to be able to watch videos or just have the choice to use it as well. It has another thing which I would be interested to see some other people's reviews on how it works, called crash detection, which says it calls for help when you can't. So I'm wondering how they worked out the sensitivity on this so that it doesn't just trigger if you, I don't know, we're doing some particular kind of actions or something, but I would love to read into that a little bit more and kind of get an understanding of how that works. So yet again, a little bit more on the camera. It is a 48 megapixel main camera with an advanced quad pixel sensor, so up to 4 times the resolution. And that is really great as well for if you're cropping photos and needing to blow things up so that you can get better detail. And it says that the sensor is 65% larger than the iPhone 13 Pro. Another feature which I think is absolutely brilliant and something that I have been craving in a phone, because it is often the thing that you take out and about with you. Like, I'm really not getting around taking my massive Canon camera out with me at nighttime, and also that does very badly in low lighting unless you're a professional photographer and you totally understand how to play around with the f-stops and all of the different settings and things, and potentially have it set up on a tripod for stability and all of those kinds of things. But in the interest of just really quick photos when you're in a more nighttime kind of scene, I thought that this was brilliant that they said there was 3 times better low light photos on the ultra wide camera and 2 times better low light photos on the main camera. So it also has 2 times better low light photos on the telephoto camera too. Another thing I love using my phone for when I'm out and about is little clips for the vlogs, and it's very important to me to be able to have the 4K function on there. And I have taught so many people this, that just by like tapping up the top where it says HD 30, you can change it to like 4K 60 frames a second. And on this now it says that they have 4K 24 frames per second, which is definitely like the film sort of standard. And I think that is really brilliant as well, because it was already great quality on my other phone and I could definitely notice a difference when I flipped the video over. So I absolutely cannot wait to see some clips off this phone, because sometimes when I see other people's filming on their iPhones that are even like the 13, the quality is so much better than mine. So the last 2 things, the chip in the phone is an A16 chip, which is their Bionic Ultimate smartphone chip, and they have a little tab on the website which says you can geek out on the specs of that if you're interested in finding a lot more information. So my dad is an IT guy and he would absolutely read into and understand all of those bits and pieces, but for me, I just know that it means a massive upgrade to the general system of the phone, because obviously these are like mini computers, and the more you have a better kind of operating system and motherboard and chip and things like that, the better it is going to run. So last thing I'll say is on the battery. So they say amazing all-day battery life, up to 29 hours with video playback on the iPhone 14 Pro Max, up to 23 hours on the iPhone 14 Pro, and it has MagSafe if you want to charge it on one of those. So I do have a little Signet MagSafe charger, but I didn't end up getting a case like that because I just thought they were kind of ugly. Apple was selling them for $79 and I don't actually have any real need for that because I usually just plug mine into a charger of an evening, so I just kept that instead. Now let's unbox this baby because I'm absolutely dying to see what it looks like. Oh my gosh, it is beautiful. Like, look at that. I would definitely say this is just white. It's not really silver at all. It has silver features and like a little silver apple on it, but that is stunning. Honestly, it makes this old phone look so bad. I'll put the 2 side by side so that you can see. So in terms of the back of the phone, this one is the 11 Pro Max, and here we have the 14 Pro Max. So immediately you can see the difference between, first of all, the size of the camera, but also the slight size increase in the phone. And I think width-wise as well, you can also see there is a slight increase and the profile is a little bit different, but really, really, really happy with that. It is so beautiful. And maybe it's got, yep, on the front, it's just got a little bit of a cover, so we can peel that off. Wow. Even the glass on the front of it is just, wow, really, like, it just looks darker and so, so nice. This is such a beautiful phone in hand as well. I absolutely cannot wait to use this camera. Like, look at that. So I guess I will turn it on. I think they usually do come charged straight out of the box, but you never know. There we go. It actually has turned on, so that's good. And in terms of what else is in the box, as you would have seen, I feel like every single time I get an iPhone, the box gets smaller. So this is all that was in the box. It literally just has the charger, which is still a lightning charger into a USB-C. So thankfully they haven't gone ahead and changed that, because obviously it gets very annoying when all of the accessories and things kind of change every single time. So here is the charger. Like I said, sorry, I'll just pop my hand here so you can see, lightning charger to USB-C. And here it is, all switched on. So I do actually need to go ahead and set that up now. And something I also need to do is to back up and get off all of my things from here. So I need to go and do that now with my laptop, and then I will report back to you guys. So it says you can do a quick start thing. So it says bring your current iPhone or iPad near this iPhone to sign in and set up, or you can set it up manually. So I guess I can give that a go. I assume they both just need to be unlocked at the same time. There you go. Straight on my other phone, straight away, it says, would you like to set up? So I can just hit continue, and it is actually just connecting via the Apple ID. Hold up your new iPhone up to the camera. So there we go. Another thing that is different with this new phone is it has an eSIM. So there was an option for a standard SIM or an eSIM, but apparently the eSIM means that you are able to host two numbers on one phone, which I thought would be incredibly useful for when traveling and things and getting a local SIM card. Or if you're a business owner and maybe you've got a business phone and a work phone, you no longer need to do that, because you could quite literally just have both numbers going to the one phone. So it says set up the eSIM, and I can transfer my phone to this iPhone. Now I've just got the two phones side by side, so it's currently transferring the data from my old one to the new phone, but one says it'll take about 1 hour and the other one was saying 2, but now it's just jumped back down to 1 hour. So here's hoping it doesn't take too much longer than that. Maybe it will speed up a little bit, but this is what it looks like at the moment. I've just got them laying next to each other while that is going on. And in the meantime, something I did buy from JB Hi-Fi yesterday is a case, and this time I just went for a clear case because I wanted one that would just be able to show off the really nice color, because I'm actually happy with it this time. So I just got this one from a brand called Spec, and I did a little bit of research online and it sounded quite good. It's 13 foot or 4 meter drop tested. It's got microban, which is supposed to be like an anti-microbial kind of coating to it. It's the perfect clear Presidio case, and it has a clear guarantee. So it's supposed to be of better material that will stay clearer for longer and not kind of get that yellowing sort of color. So it has a raised bezel to protect the screen, fast charge compatible, and that is about it. I think it was made from some sustainable materials as well. It does say that it is a Spec Eco, and this was $40. So I might just take that out of the packaging as well, and I can pop it on the phone. So this is what the case looks like up close, which is quite nice. I sort of wish it didn't have this little branded thing on the corner here, but aside from that, it looks really good, and it's supposed to be a really snug fit. So I'll give that a little try onto the phone. So there we go. That is all popped onto my phone now, and it fits really, really well. So can definitely say I would recommend that one so far. The bezel comes up quite high, so I do think if you were to drop it face down, fingers crossed that never happens to me or any of you, but I think that it would actually protect the screen. But pretty likely that I'll just go and get a screen protector as well. I do have one on my old phone. I just kind of hate them because every time you do even drop it in the slightest, it gets a massive crack through it and you have to get a new one, but definitely better than damaging the actual glass. Okay, I'm back and the transfer has completed. So now I've got my little welcome to the iPhone thing where I can swipe up and get started. And as you can see, it has literally already transferred all of my apps, all of my information, my messages, my contacts, absolutely everything. I think this is such a great thing about some of the Apple products, that you can just literally slot them next to each other and they're able to do that. Whereas I remember back in the day, you had to like back up your phone on your PC and then download everything from there to the new device and then go back and erase your other phone. So I haven't erased anything off my other phone yet, because I always just want to double check that I've got absolutely everything here, because I have tons of photos and things that might not be 100% backed up. So that is all done with that. And this is the basic new interface that it's come with. So it's kind of blacked out my photo a little bit, and it's got the clock at the front with the date. So I'm going to have a little bit of a play around with some of that as well. And I think I still have some slight setting up to do with the eSIM, because it will need to connect to my other network so that it can actually recognize itself without the SIM. So it's now giving me this little screen, which is from Vodafone, and that is about the SIM swap being in process from my current phone to this one. So I just had to do a little bit of back and forth verifying that and confirming with my phone provider that I actually wanted to do that. And now it says that it will be ready to use on this phone within about 15 minutes. So we'll have to wait and see for that. In the meantime, I do still have Wi-Fi, so I can still get messages on either device, which is okay for now, because I feel like that's how most stuff works on your iPhone anyway. So that is all transferred over now and is working perfectly fine on the new phone, which is great. But the thing that I really want to set up now is the widgets. So I actually had a couple on my old phone which have transferred over from, I think it was ScreenKit, which I did in the previous video, but this is what it used to look like with a couple of these bits and pieces. So I had like Pinterest and some podcasts, a horoscope, calendar, those kinds of things. But I think what I'm going to do is delete these off, because I believe that there are some new ones within Apple instead. So I'm just going to quickly go ahead and do that, and then we can see what widgets are available to add in. So now I'm left with a blank screen for the widgets, which looks like this. So you'll see up here on this side, there is a little plus symbol. So what you're going to do is hit the plus symbol, and then it will allow you to search through all of the widgets which are available to add. So there's different things like the weather, there is photos, podcasts, there is world clocks, your battery, like all sorts of different stuff here that you're able to add on. So you can then also get any custom widgets from any of the apps which are within your phone as well. So I'm going to go ahead and have a little play with that, and I'll update you guys with what I end up doing. One more tip is for the home screen. I've just read an article which says if you tap and hold, then you'll be able to customize. So I've just gone ahead and done that, and it's literally brought up this option. So now I'm able to kind of scroll this way through a few different items, and I can then customize and add on different little bits and pieces as per widgets for all of those. So if I click customize, it then comes up with all of these different options here, and I'm now going to have a little play around with that as well. So this is what I've come up with for the home screen. As you can see, it goes into dark mode, but if I just tap it, it will go vibrant again. So this is actually a photo of the Sydney Opera House, which I took when I was on a trip with my boyfriend. And what I've popped up the top here is a couple of useful things for me. So we've got the weather, I've got what time my alarm is set for tomorrow, I've got the sundown time and the battery life, and then I customized the clock to be this really cool line work kind of one, and then just the date here. Alright, so I've just gone ahead and added a bunch of custom widgets. So I've got the weather, my battery life, maps, a calendar, Google search, a link to my Pinterest board, I have podcasts and Spotify, and I also have my notes. So this is what it now looks like with all of those set up. And of course you can just select whichever ones you like, and you can get other long format ones that are in bigger bands and things as well. So maybe I'll just quickly show you that and the typical options you would get. So for example, with the weather, this is how it will look, and you just scroll through until you find which widget you want, depending on the size of the data that you want to have on there. So because I wanted to have such a large variety, I just picked all of the small ones, so I ended up getting 8 different things instead. So I've just got a huge variety of all sorts of different stuff that I can have customized here on my phone. So that is everything that I'm going to set up for today, because I can have a little bit more fun with the lock screen and stuff as well, but I do have a little bit to learn about this phone. I hope you guys have enjoyed having a little look around the phone, and I can honestly say the speed and the ease at which it just flips between tasks is actually incredible. It looks like I am looking at a high definition TV for the first time. Like, it is absolutely incredible, and I can't wait to test this out and take some photos and just compare them to pictures off my old phone. But yeah, I'm just very, very impressed. And now with the old phone, if you are in Australia or with Vodafone or someone like that, I've heard that they are doing a buyback on them. So I did call up and ask for a valuation, and they said that they would give me around $500 for my old 11 Pro Max. So this one is 256 gigabytes as well, and so is my new one. So I actually did have the highest storage at the time you could get on this, whereas I got the lowest this time because I never ended up using all of this anyway. I think I still had like 80 gigabytes spare, and the price difference was quite a lot with the new phone, so I just thought I would keep on top of all my bits and pieces. But that is everything that I have for you guys in this video today. I need to go and lay down and rest my voice a little bit more, but thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will leave all of the links in the description box down below, and as always, I will see you in the next video.